When it comes to money or the richest man in the world, the usual names we all come across would be Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Bill Gates of Microsoft, or maybe Warren Buffett. But did you know that the French businessman Bernard Arnault was the richest man in the world, especially in recent 2020? If so, does he still retain the title? Well, in this cut of business stories, we uncover the transformation story of Bernard Arnault on how he went from being an engineer to become the single largest owner of the biggest luxury goods conglomerate, LVMH. If this is your first time to Business Stories, make sure to subscribe. In order to begin, let's go back to where it all started. Born in 1949 to the couple Jean-Laurent Arnault and Marie-Joseph Savinel in the town of Roubaix, France, Bernard Arnault actually comes from a pretty comfortable background. His father had a construction company which he started in the early 1950s. Even from a young age, the young Bernard had an ambitious nature towards everything he did, proclaiming a highly competitive nature. In fact, he was so competitive that he studied hard to get himself enrolled in the most prestigious school of France, École Polytechnique, which is a huge feat because the institute stands as an alma mater for 3 French presidents and a couple of Nobel laureates. In 1976, after graduating, Bernard started thinking about what to do next. Young Arnault looked at his father's company and contemplated if there was a better way to seek more profits from the company, which is when he realized that the real estate business was highly lucrative. So in 1976, Bernard switched his father's company from construction to real estate, and Farina was born that day. From then, because of his great business acumen, he went on to take the presidential role of the company. So, by 30, he had spent enough time in his father's company. It was during this time he would get to know a great news. The French government at that time was looking for someone to take over a textile company which was going bankrupt. Bernard could not help but suddenly remember an incident that happened when he went to the United States. As he got into a yellow cab while he was staying there, he encountered a rather intriguing conversation with the taxi driver. When he asked if he knew the French president, for which the driver unwittingly replied, "I don't know the president, but the French company Dyer, that's famous here," he said. "But how does it relate to Bozak?" Well, Dyer was one of the companies which was under the portfolio of Bozak. So, Arnault saw an enormous opportunity to embark his footprint in the luxury goods industry. So, in the year 1984, Bernard Arnault acquired Bozak by putting $15 million from his family business to get the purchase for $80 million, the rest being sponsored by Lazard. Bernard was hyper-focused on building his empire rather than taking care of his employees, which he promised when he bought the company from the government. Instead of holding the company together as he had told before, he discreetly selected all the companies out of the luxury genre and sold them all, pocketing $500 million. Solely focusing on the luxury goods industry, he was so criticized for his uncanny approach, which is why the media nicknamed him the Wolf in the Cashmere Coat. With a historic company in hand, Arnault landed with another opportunity similar to that of Bozak. In 1987, Arnault was asked to mediate in a merger of Moet Hennessy and Louis Vuitton because Louis Vuitton had held rights to the Dyer perfume. Arnault conceded to the latter. So, Henri Rasmier, the 77-year-old chairman of Louis Vuitton, saw Arnault as an ally, but the wolf had other plans. Bernard instead sided with the Hennessy's boss and bought 27% of Louis Vuitton. This grew to 37% in 1988, and by 89, Arnault was the biggest shareholder of the company LVMH. This made Rasmier to step down from his own family firm Louis Vuitton, and eventually Arnault became undisputed chairman and CEO of Louis Vuitton. And ever since then, Arnault has always been known for his business acumen, especially in acquiring companies and ousting its founders. To continue his saga of expansion, Arnault would spend billions to acquire leading European companies in fashion, fragrance, jewelry, watches, and the list goes on. The latest acquisition made by LVMH was Tiffany's & Co. jewelry company for a massive $16 billion, making the value of LVMH to a net cap of $214 billion. By 2008, LVMH would have acquired over 80 companies under its portfolio, making it the largest luxury goods conglomerate in the world. The richest man in 2020. Bernard Arnault always claims that he would never use the word luxury, but rather quality, the quality of doing hard things well. And he says that money is only an incentive which comes to tag along. Having built such a massive company, Bernard Arnault's net worth has significantly rose over the years. His net worth is mostly tied to the LVMH company, of which he has a 47% stake. In the year 2010, his net worth was around 27.5 billion. 10 years later, in 2019, it rose to 76 billion. But that doesn't get him to even the 100 billion mark as the title claims. Well, hold on. On January 17, 2020, Amazon shares dipped by 0.7%, which brought down Bezos' net worth by 760 million, putting Bernard Arnault on the top spot at 117 billion. But it didn't last long as Bezos got his spot back. But will it only be a matter of time that Bernard Arnault regains his spot? Well, I guess I'll leave that to you. Let us know in the comments about your guesses. And if you're inspired by other business stories, make sure to check out our other videos for we believe you like it. And as usual, subscribe. If not, maybe next time.